Hi, I am Pradeep and I am presenting the results from my MEG experiments investigating auditory working memory for pitch of a simple tone in humans. The key take-home message is that cerebellum broca beta dynamics support maintenance of pitch. Pitch is the tonal quality that makes a sound seem high or low. It plays a critical role in guiding our attention during noisy social conversations known as cocktail party problem. One needs to maintain in mind the pitch of a person we are talking to during natural pauses in conversation to efficiently separate overlapping sounds. But the brain system underlying the ability to maintain pitch in our mind is not known. To investigate the brain system underlying pitch maintenance, I recorded 7 MEG or scalp magnetic signals in 17 subjects while they maintained one of two presented tones or ignored both in control condition. After 12 seconds, they compared the pitch of the test tone with the tone maintained. Evoked responses showed persistent activity throughout retention compared to pre-stimulus baseline, but enhanced activity only at the start of retention compared to the control condition, which controls for sustained attention, stimulus anticipation, behavioral preparation, and reward expectation. This evoked response was localized to right auditory cortex. Induced responses during the first second of retention showed enhanced theta in the medial prefrontal cortex, suppressed alpha in the left auditory cortex, and enhanced beta in the cerebellum, as well as beta suppression in the posterior parietal cortex. I self-replicated the results in 19 new subjects who are presented with a tone and a Gabor patch and a cue indicating whether to maintain auditory or visual information for 12 seconds. Induced responses during the first second of retention in the auditory condition yielded results similar to those observed in the first experiment, namely suppressed alpha in the left auditory cortex, enhanced theta in the medial prefrontal cortex, enhanced beta in the cerebellum, as well as beta suppression in the left posterior parietal cortex. Connectivity analysis showed that beta activity in the cerebellum was phase locked to activity in the Broca's area, which correlated to subject's task accuracy. MVPA decoder performance for decoding working memory content at anterior cingulate gyrus using uh, phase locking with cerebellum was about chance, and the decoder performance at the right secondary auditory cortex using beta phase coupling with cerebellum was correlated to subject's task accuracy. This showed correspondence between encoding distance and behavior. Debriefing reports from participants identified that they were rehearsing the tone either covertly or overtly, and no one had perfect pitch. Musical Goldsmith's Musical Sophistication Index for assessing musical sophistication in the general population confirmed that the overall general sophistication was correlated to subjects' auditory working memory behavioral performance. To decipher the system underlying pitch maintenance using rehearsal as strategy, we need to consider how a closed loop control with a delayed output is achieved. This is due to the significant delay in vocal production and auditory feedback up to 150 to 200 milliseconds. In classical control, this problem has been solved using a Smith predictor, which has an internal model of the effectors which produces immediate predictions based on efference copy, and a delayed version of this corollary discharge is used to compute the modeling error against the actual delayed output. We need to infer if this scheme fits the interaction between Broca and cerebellum. Dynamical causal modeling for phase coupling identified that Broca initiates the beta phase-based pacing of cerebellum, and this pacing reduces with increasing task performance. This could be the efference copy of the motor command sent to vocal cords reaching cerebellum. Dynamical causal modeling for cross-spectral density identified two oscillators with reciprocal influence best modeled the beta band interaction between cerebellum and Broca. Further, cerebellum influence on Broca increased with task performance. This could be the forward model prediction from cerebellum being sent to Broca. Using active inference, I formalized pitch maintenance as a partially observable Markov decision process. In simulated cohorts, agents with more precise forward models selected pitch matching vocal gestures more reliably, so task accuracy emerged from model quality. A single latent cognitive variable forward model prediction that was able to reproduce the full range of results presented so far, including double dissociation in the directional connectivity between Broca and cerebellum. So, in good performers, a precise, well-trained cerebellar forward model delivers a strong prediction to Broca while needing less phase spacing from Broca to stay coordinated. It runs autonomously, while in poor performers, they show the reverse effect as there is no good forward model, an effortful top-down pacing from Broca, but a weak prediction return from cerebellum. Thus, the quality of the auditory forward model explains the directional double dissociation. So, the error control regime, whether it is predictive error control or feedback error control, depends on the cerebellar auditory forward model precision. So I propose that representations of tone is stored in anterior cingulate gyrus, which is conveyed to Broca as desired pitch. Broca initiates vocal rehearsal and the motor command is sent to vocal cords, a copy of which is also sent to cerebellum as efference copy. Cerebellum transforms the efference copy into model predictions of sensory consequence of Broca's motor command, and these model predictions are sent back to Broca. The ascending auditory reafference due to vocalization is subtracted from a delayed copy of the corollary discharge by left posterior parietal cortex, and this modeling error is also sent to Broca. So I conclude that pitch maintenance in auditory working memory is supported by beta band interactions between cerebellum and Broca's area. The proposed system for pitch retention is that vocal rehearsal is done by Broca and it is stabilized via predictive error control by cerebellum, so forward model transforming the efference copy. The observed performance-dependent changes in connectivity are consistent with the transition between predictive control and feedback error control regimes. Forward model precision is the latent cognitive variable that explains this. We have a testable computational hypothesis for future studies. Thank you.